Have you ever felt that gut-wrenching twist when you realize someone just doesn't like you? That sting of criticism, the cold shoulder, the feeling that you're simply not measuring up. It's a familiar ache, isn't it? We're wired to seek approval, to belong. But what if I told you that this very discomfort, this fear of being disliked, holds the key to unlocking an extraordinary power within you, a power that can transform your entire life without you even trying? Today, we're going to dive deep into a profound paradox that can redefine your strength and inner peace, all through the ancient, yet surprisingly relevant, wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Imagine for a moment a life where criticism simply bounces off you, where disapproval doesn't send you spiraling. This isn't some far-fetched fantasy. It's a real, tangible shift waiting to happen. We're going to explore why people might dislike us, how it truly impacts us, and most importantly, how we can flip the script and use timeless Stoic principles to turn this common challenge into an incredible opportunity for personal growth. Whether you're grappling with a tough boss, navigating tricky family dynamics, or just trying to stay sane in the relentless world of social media judgment, this conversation is for you. So, are you ready to uncover your superpower? Let's begin. 1. The whispers of disapproval. Why we flinch. Why do people dislike us sometimes? It's a messy, complicated question, but understanding the many layers of it can genuinely help us navigate the world with more grace. Sometimes it's just because we're different. Maybe you've chosen a path less traveled, an unconventional career, or a lifestyle that just doesn't fit the mold of your community. Think about those trailblazers throughout history who dared to defy expectations, pursuing their passions even when everyone around them scratched their heads or outright disapproved. Their willingness to stand out often reshaped the entire world, didn't it? Other times, the dislike stems from a decision we've made that directly impacts others. Leaders, for example, often face this when they have to make tough calls for the greater good of an organization. Imagine being in a position where you know, deep down, that no matter what choice you make, someone is going to be unhappy. It's an inescapable part of responsibility, a heavy mantle to bear. And then, there are those baffling moments when it's not even about us at all. People's dislike can frequently blossom from their own deep-seated insecurities, unspoken jealousies, or plain misunderstandings. Have you ever met someone who seemed to take an instant disliking to you, almost before you even opened your mouth? Chances are, that was more about their internal struggles than anything you ever said or did. It's a tough pill to swallow, but often their negativity is a reflection of their own inner world. Now let's talk about how this whole being disliked thing truly hits us. As social creatures, we're hardwired to seek approval. It's in our DNA. So when we feel disliked, it can land a truly heavy blow. It might make us second-guess everything, fill us with anxiety, or even make us want to twist ourselves into someone we're not, just to fit in. Cast your mind back to your younger days, perhaps high school, when the approval of certain groups felt like the air you breathed. That constant worry about what others thought, wasn't it absolutely exhausting? And here's the kicker. For many of us, those feelings don't magically vanish when we become adults. We just get better at stuffing them down. Being disliked can silently erode our self-esteem, make us shy away from risks, and even impact our physical health. Studies have actually shown that social rejection can light up the same areas of the brain as physical pain. That's right, being disliked can literally, physically hurt. But here's the powerful twist, the turning point in our story. The real power isn't in trying to avoid the dislike. It's in how you choose to respond to it. And this, my friends, is where our journey truly begins to unfold. If this resonates with you, if you're nodding along, hit that like button right now and consider subscribing to Stoic Marble. Join a growing community of individuals who are ready to embrace their true power. And trust me, you'll want to stick around, because our next section reveals how to transform this very discomfort into your greatest strength. 2. The Stoic Path. Turning discomfort into power. It's not all doom and gloom, though. Not by a long shot. The real impact of being disliked depends heavily on our reaction to it. And this is where things get incredibly interesting. Our common reactions often fall into predictable patterns. Some of us might immediately try to morph ourselves into something palatable for others. We might dial down our vibrant personalities, censor our true opinions, or even abandon dreams simply because others don't approve. It's like living life behind a mask, constantly guessing what others want us to be. And it's utterly draining. Others might swing the pendulum in the opposite direction, becoming defensive or even aggressive. They might lash out at those who dislike them, attempting to wound back. It's that "you can't fire me, I quit" mentality applied to social interactions. And then there are those who withdraw completely. They might retreat from social situations, stop sharing their brilliant ideas, or simply abandon the pursuit of close relationships altogether. It's a shield, a way of protecting themselves. But sadly, it often leads to profound loneliness and countless missed opportunities. But there's another, far more potent path, a way to transmute being disliked from a perceived weakness into an unparalleled strength. And this is precisely where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism steps onto our stage. Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy, has been guiding people through life's tumultuous challenges for over 2 millennia. At its heart, Stoicism is about one fundamental truth, focusing intensely on what we can control and gracefully accepting what we cannot. It's not about stifling our emotions, not at all. It's about understanding them, acknowledging them, and then consciously choosing how we respond. When it comes to handling dislike, Stoicism offers a profoundly powerful perspective. The Stoics taught us that we have absolutely no control over what others think of us. Zero. But we have absolute, undeniable control over our own thoughts and actions. They believed that true, unshakable happiness doesn't come from external validation or endless approval, but from living in alignment with our own deeply held values and doing what we truly believe is right. Think about that for a moment. What if your intrinsic worth wasn't determined by a popularity contest, but by how true you were to your own guiding principles? What if criticism became not something to dread, but a golden opportunity to peer inward, examine yourself, and emerge stronger? One of the cornerstone Stoic principles, profoundly relevant to our topic, is the idea of voluntary discomfort. The Stoics intentionally sought out uncomfortable situations to build an inner steel, to forge resilience. In our context, this might mean becoming perfectly at ease with the discomfort of being disliked, knowing that it's actively strengthening your character and rooting you more deeply in who you truly are. Another vital Stoic concept is the dichotomy of control. This means drawing a crystal clear line between what is truly within our sphere of influence, our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, and what simply isn't, other people's opinions, external events, the weather, traffic. By channeling our precious energy solely into what we can control, we liberate ourselves from the exhausting tyranny of constantly chasing external approval. The Stoics also championed the profound importance of self-reflection. They believed in regularly scrutinizing our thoughts and actions, like a skilled artisan examining their craft, to ensure we are living in harmony with our values. When confronted with dislike, instead of an immediate knee-jerk reaction, a Stoic approach would be to pause. Take a beat and ask, is this criticism valid? Does it resonate with my values? And crucially, how can I transform this moment into an opportunity for genuine self-improvement? What if the very thing you fear most, disapproval, is actually a hidden catalyst for profound personal evolution? The answer, surprisingly, lies in ancient wisdom that feels shockingly relevant even today. 3. Ancient wisdom, modern power. Lessons from the arena. Let's peek into a powerful, real-life example of Stoicism in action. Consider the story of a Roman emperor, a man who also happened to be a renowned Stoic philosopher. Despite holding unimaginable power, he was constantly barraged by criticism and faced immense, relentless challenges. In his personal writings, later famously published as Meditations, he frequently reminded himself not to be perturbed by others' opinions. He penned these remarkable words: "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed. It is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance who is harmed." This incredible mindset allowed him to lead with conviction, make incredibly difficult decisions, and remain steadfast in his principles, even in the face of widespread disapproval. He didn't ignore criticism, not at all, but he certainly didn't allow it to control him. Instead, he skillfully wielded it as a tool for self-improvement, staying laser-focused on doing what he believed was truly right. So, how exactly can we weave these profound Stoic principles into the fabric of our own modern lives? How can we truly harness the power of accepting being disliked? That's precisely what we'll continue to explore on this journey. We'll uncover practical strategies for reframing dislike, for building an unbreakable inner resilience, and for effectively using criticism as a springboard for deep personal growth. Remember, the ultimate goal isn't to become completely immune to the feelings of being disliked. That's not realistic, nor is it human. The goal is to learn how to navigate those feelings in a way that makes us stronger, more authentic, and ultimately more at peace with ourselves. Because at the end of the day, the single most important opinion about you is your own. Stay with us as we dive even deeper into this transformative journey of self-discovery and empowerment. You're about to learn a superpower that will serve you for the rest of your life. Now that we've laid this crucial groundwork, let's dive even deeper into the sheer, liberating power of acceptance. Why is accepting dislike so absolutely paramount? Well, it boils down to something incredibly simple, yet deeply profound. You cannot control what others think of you, but you possess absolute control over how you choose to respond. Just think about it. How much precious energy have you squandered trying to get everyone to like you? How many times have you twisted yourself into uncomfortable knots, desperately trying to please everyone around you? It's utterly exhausting, isn't it? And the cruel irony, it never truly works. There will always be someone who doesn't approve, who just doesn't get you. Accepting dislike liberates you from this endless, futile chase. It grants you the profound permission to focus on what truly, genuinely matters. Living according to your deepest values, relentlessly pursuing your most cherished goals, and being authentically, unapologetically you. When you truly accept that not everyone will like you, you give yourself the most precious gift: permission to simply be. But here's where many people stumble. They confuse acceptance with approval. Let's be absolutely crystal clear. Accepting dislike doesn't mean you enjoy it, or that you think it's perfectly fine for people to treat you badly. No. It simply means you acknowledge the reality of the situation without allowing it to seize control of your inner world. Imagine you're giving a presentation at work, one you've meticulously prepared for. You glance at the back row and see one colleague, arms crossed, a clear expression of skepticism on their face. Acceptance means calmly acknowledging, okay, this person doesn't agree with me, and then, just as calmly, continuing your presentation. It doesn't mean you suddenly have to love their attitude or suddenly scrap your entire approach to win them over. Let's rewind to an ancient Stoic figure who masterfully navigated profound criticism. Consider the story of a Roman statesman, a man celebrated for his unwavering moral integrity. He often faced vicious criticism for his unyielding principles in an era rife with political corruption. One day, while passionately denouncing corruption in the Roman Senate, a political rival, consumed by rage, actually spat in his face. In Roman society, this was one of the most egregious insults imaginable. The entire Senate fell silent, every eye fixed on him, waiting to see his reaction. And what did he do? He calmly, deliberately wiped his face, and then, without missing a beat, continued his speech. He didn't retaliate. He didn't erupt in a furious rage. And he certainly didn't back down from his principled stance. He accepted the stark reality of what had happened, without letting it derail him from his profound purpose. His reaction powerfully demonstrates the true, unshakable strength of accepting dislike. He refused to let his rival's abhorrent actions control him or distract him from what he knew was important. He maintained his dignity and laser-like focus by accepting the dislike without internalizing it, without letting it become a part of him. What if you could transform every negative comment, every skeptical glance, every moment of doubt into pure, unadulterated fuel for your own unstoppable progress? It's not just possible. It's a strategic choice embraced by the most successful innovators and resilient souls throughout history. 4. The alchemy of growth. From criticism to fuel now, let's talk about something truly transformative. How we can reframe dislike as an incredibly powerful personal growth tool. It might sound completely counterintuitive at first, but criticism, when approached with the right mindset, can be one of the most potent motivators for self-improvement you'll ever encounter. Think about a time when someone genuinely criticized you. It stung, right? That initial, sharp pang of discomfort. But after that initial sting began to fade, did you ever find yourself thinking, even just for a fleeting moment, well, maybe they have a point? That, my friend, is the very first spark of using dislike as a tool for your growth. Criticism forces us to truly examine ourselves. It challenges our comfortable assumptions and gently, or sometimes forcefully, pushes us out of our cozy comfort zones. When someone expresses dislike for something about us or our work, it's an invaluable opportunity to pause and ask ourselves, is there a kernel of truth in this? Is there something I could genuinely do better, improve upon, or simply learn from? However, and this is the crucial catch, not all criticism is created equal. Learning to identify truly valuable feedback within a sea of negativity is absolutely vital. Ask yourself these questions. Is this criticism specific? Is it actionable? Can I actually do something with this information? And perhaps most importantly, is it coming from someone whose opinion I genuinely respect, or at least someone who has relevant experience or a valid perspective? If the answer to these questions is a resounding yes, then congratulations. You've just unearthed a golden opportunity for growth. But if the answer is no, if the criticism is vague, unhelpful, or clearly coming from someone who doesn't know what they're talking about, then you can simply acknowledge it, perhaps with a quiet nod, and calmly move on without letting it consume you. Let's consider a modern example of someone who masterfully used widespread dislike as an incredible catalyst for growth. Think about a visionary entrepreneur in the very early days of his groundbreaking companies. Both ventures faced intense, almost universal criticism and deep skepticism. Many people vehemently disliked his unconventional style, found him abrasive, and thought his ideas were utterly unrealistic, even laughably impossible. But instead of allowing himself to be discouraged, he used this very criticism to fuel his relentless drive. He listened carefully to valid technical critiques and used them to relentlessly improve his products, iterating and refining with unwavering focus. When people sneered that electric cars couldn't possibly be sexy or practical, he and his teams simply worked harder, innovating, until they undeniably proved them wrong. When they told him reusable rockets were an impossible pipe dream, he and his team kept pushing the boundaries, kept innovating, until they achieved the seemingly impossible. He didn't let the dislike stop him. Instead, he masterfully reframed it as a thrilling challenge to overcome, a complex problem to meticulously solve. And in doing so, he didn't just revolutionize one industry, he revolutionized two. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting you need to go out and revolutionize an entire industry to use dislike as a tool for growth. Not at all. But you can apply the exact same powerful principle in your own unique life. The next time you face criticism, try to look at it objectively, as if you're a neutral observer. Is there truly something you can learn from it? Is there a subtle shift you can make? A way you can use it to become just a little bit better, a little bit stronger, a little bit more aligned with your purpose? It sounds remarkably simple, doesn't it? But what if just a few subtle, consistent shifts in your daily habits could build an emotional shield so incredibly strong that external negativity barely even registers? The true secret, my friend, is found not in the theory, but in the consistent, unwavering practice. 5. Forge your armor. Practical steps for unshakable resilience. Let's move from fascinating theory to some genuinely practical strategies for handling negative opinions. Because let's be honest, knowing something intellectually is one thing. Putting it into practice when you're face to face with biting disapproval is an entirely different beast. First up, developing emotional resilience. This is your profound ability to bounce back from challenging, negative experiences. Think of it like building a powerful emotional muscle. The more you intentionally exercise it, the stronger, more robust it becomes. One incredibly potent way to build this resilience is through what psychologists call reframing. This means consciously, deliberately changing the way you think about a situation. For example, instead of the crushing thought, "This person dislikes me, I must be awful," try reframing it to, "This person's opinion is just one perspective. It absolutely does not define who I am." It's a subtle shift, but its power is immense. Another incredibly effective technique is to practice self-compassion. Far too often, when people dislike us, we instantly become our own harshest, most merciless critics. But what if you chose to treat yourself with the same profound kindness and understanding you'd instantly show to a dear friend in a similar situation? Instead of mercilessly beating yourself up, whisper to yourself, "This is a tough situation, but I'm doing my absolute best. I'll get through this, and I'll learn from it. Next, let's talk about something absolutely vital: setting and maintaining personal boundaries. Boundaries are the essential, protective limits you establish for how others can treat you, how they can speak to you, and how much access they have to your energy. They are crucial for preserving your self-respect and significantly dampening the impact of others' negative opinions. Setting boundaries means feeling empowered to say no to unreasonable requests, speaking up firmly, yet respectfully, when someone treats you poorly, or consciously deciding what level of criticism you're even willing to engage with. Remember, you are never, ever obligated to attend every argument you're invited to. For instance, suppose a colleague constantly criticizes your work in a non-constructive, unhelpful way. In that case, a clear boundary might be stating, "I'm genuinely open to specific, actionable feedback, but general negative comments aren't helpful for me to grow. Can we please focus on concrete suggestions for improvement moving forward?" Practicing mindfulness and self-reflection is another incredibly powerful strategy. Mindfulness means being fully, intensely present in the current moment, acutely aware of your thoughts and feelings without attaching judgment to them. When confronted with dislike or criticism, mindfulness can help you calmly observe your reactions without being completely consumed or controlled by them. Try this simple exercise. The next time you feel that familiar sting of someone's disapproval, pause just for a moment. Take a slow, deep breath. Notice exactly how you feel, the emotions swirling within, the physical sensations in your body. But don't judge these feelings or try to push them away. Just observe them, like clouds passing in the sky. This simple act of mindful awareness can create a vital, empowering space between the trigger, someone's dislike, and your chosen response. Self-reflection goes hand in hand with mindfulness. It's about regularly checking in with your inner compass. What are your deepest core values? Are your actions truly aligned with these values? When you are unshakably secure in who you are and what you stand for, others' disapproval loses much of its power, like a deflating balloon. Now, for a moment of raw truth. Think of a time, perhaps very recently, when you truly felt disliked, genuinely misunderstood. What if, right now, you could transform that raw memory from a source of pain, a scar, into a powerful blueprint for your future strength? 6. Your power in practice. An interactive reflection. All right, let's make this moment interactive. I want you to pause, truly pause and reflect. Think about a recent situation where you distinctly felt disliked or criticized. Got it? Hold that moment in your mind. Okay, now, let's work through it together, step by step. First, notice exactly how you feel when you think about this situation. Where does that feeling manifest in your body? What specific emotions bubble up? Just observe these sensations with a gentle curiosity, without attempting to change or judge them. Now let's reframe this situation. Instead of solely fixating on the dislike, ask yourself these empowering questions. What can I genuinely learn from this? Is there any kernel of truth in the criticism that I can use to grow, to evolve? If not, if it's baseless, can I instead use this as a powerful opportunity to practice standing firm and unyielding in my values without wavering? Next, envision setting a boundary. What's a healthy, respectful limit you could set in this specific situation? How could you communicate this boundary? Respectfully? Yes, but also firmly and clearly. Finally, and this is crucial, Extend yourself some genuine self-compassion. Place a hand over your heart, or simply say to yourself, softly, "This is difficult and it hurts, but I'm doing my absolute best. I'm learning and growing from this challenging experience." How do you feel now? A little bit different, perhaps lighter, more in control, right? This, my friend, is the profound power of these strategies in action. They don't magically make the dislike disappear, but they fundamentally, irrevocably change how you relate to it. They put you and your inner peace back in the driver's seat. Remember, handling negative opinions is a skill, a muscle that needs consistent exercise. And like any skill, you won't be a master at it overnight. There will be stumbles, and that's perfectly, beautifully okay. The ultimate goal isn't to never feel hurt by dislike or criticism again. The goal is to consistently build your resilience, to extract valuable lessons from every experience, and most importantly, to stay gloriously true to yourself despite any waves of disapproval that come your way. As we continue, we'll explore how to apply these powerful strategies in specific, messy, real-life situations, from heated workplace conflicts to the often brutal landscape of social media interactions. We'll also unveil the profound, long-term benefits of embracing dislike. Because here's the unvarnished truth. Learning to accept being disliked isn't just about defending yourself from negative feelings. It's about absolutely freeing yourself to live a more authentic, more purposeful, and more joyful life than you ever dreamed possible. The best, truly, is yet to come. What if the loudest voices of disapproval outside your head are simply echoes of the hidden, persistent doubts within? Cultivating inner peace isn't about silencing them entirely, but about profoundly changing how you choose to listen. 7. Navigating the real world. Dislike in every corner of your life. Now that we've delved deep into the liberating power of acceptance and armed ourselves with some potent practical strategies, let's see how these ideas play out in the messy, wonderful chaos of real life. We'll examine 3 common arenas where we often confront the sharp edges of dislike or disapproval: the workplace, our most intimate personal relationships, and the wild, often unforgiving world of social media. Let's begin with the workplace. Imagine you're in a crucial team meeting, passionately presenting a new idea, one you're genuinely excited about. As you speak, you catch sight of a colleague, eyes rolling, a clear sign of dismissal. After the meeting, they pull you aside and deliver the blow. "That's never going to work. You're just wasting everyone's time." Ouch, right? That stings. But let's immediately apply what we've learned. First, accept the raw reality. This person simply doesn't like your idea. That's okay. It doesn't instantly mean your idea is terrible or that you're incompetent. Next, sift through their criticism for any valuable feedback that might be hidden within the harsh words. Is there a specific concern you could genuinely address? A point they might have that you overlooked? If not, if it's just blanket negativity, that's perfectly fine too. Now, set a clear boundary. You might calmly say, "I genuinely appreciate you sharing your concerns. In the future, I'd find it much more helpful if you could provide specific, constructive feedback during the meeting, so we can discuss it as a team and find solutions together." Finally, reflect. Are you still confident in your idea? Deep down, does it align with your core values and what you truly believe is best for the company? If so, don't let one person's disapproval derail you. Instead, use it as fuel, as motivation to refine and strengthen your proposal, making it even more compelling. Moving on to the intricate world of personal relationships, let's consider a common family scenario. You've made a heartfelt decision to pursue a career in the arts, but your parents, with the best of intentions, strongly disapprove. They envisioned you as a doctor or a lawyer, a more stable path. This situation is undeniably trickier, precisely because it involves people you deeply love and care for. Start by accepting their disapproval without letting it define who you are or the validity of your choice. Try to understand that their opinion likely stems from a place of genuine concern for your future, even if it feels suffocating. Next, dig beneath the surface to identify the underlying issue. Are they truly worried about financial stability, job security? Address these concerns directly and calmly. You might say, "I know you're worried about my future, and I appreciate that. I've thoroughly researched this career path, and here's my plan for building a stable income and a fulfilling life." Set clear, respectful boundaries around how this sensitive topic is discussed. For instance, "I value your opinion more than you know, but I genuinely need you to respect my choice. Can we agree to not argue about this during family gatherings?" Remember, it is entirely possible to love someone profoundly and still fundamentally disagree with them. Your career choice doesn't have to irrevocably damage your relationship if you approach the situation with understanding, compassion, and firm, respectful boundaries. Now let's plunge into the wild, often chaotic, west of social media. You post a heartfelt photo of yourself at a political rally, passionately standing for a cause you believe in. Suddenly, your notifications explode, flooded with angry, often venomous comments from people who vehemently disagree with your views. First, take a deep breath. Acknowledge and accept that in the vast, diverse world of social media, you will inevitably encounter people who dislike your views, your choices, or simply your existence. That's not a reflection on you or your worth. It's simply the very nature of the platform, the sheer volume of differing opinions. Next, deliberately decide which comments, if any, are even worth engaging with. Is there a genuine opportunity for constructive civil dialogue? If so, respond thoughtfully, with grace and respect. If not, if the comments are purely hostile, vague, or abusive, it is perfectly okay, and often wise, to simply ignore or delete them. Remember, you are never obligated to engage with every single opinion flung your way. Set clear, healthy boundaries for your social media use. You can limit the time you spend scrolling through comments, or even turn off comments on specific posts if the negativity becomes overwhelming. You could also actively curate your feed, seeking out and connecting with people who uplift you and create a more supportive, positive online environment. Finally, reflect on why you're sharing in the first place. Are you bravely expressing your deepest values? Are you raising awareness for a cause you truly believe in? If so, let that profound purpose ground you, anchor you in the face of any disapproval. In all these scenarios, whether in the office, with family, or online, staying unapologetically true to yourself while gracefully navigating the complex social world around you is the ultimate key. It's a delicate balancing act, a skill that requires practice. But with consistent effort, it becomes remarkably easier, more natural, more empowering. What if the loudest voices of disapproval outside your head are simply echoes of the hidden, persistent doubts within? Cultivating inner peace isn't about silencing them entirely, but about profoundly changing how you choose to listen. 8. Inner sanctuary. Cultivating peace amidst the storm. Now let's shift our focus to cultivating that precious, unwavering inner peace amidst external disapproval. This is where the real, profound action takes place. It's one thing to handle isolated instances of dislike. It's an entirely different challenge, a deeper practice, to maintain a profound sense of inner calm when faced with ongoing, persistent disapproval. The first crucial step is to focus intensely, almost fiercely, on your personal values and integrity. What do you truly stand for? What principles genuinely, authentically guide your life's decisions? When you are crystal clear about your values, when they are etched into your very being, external opinions have significantly less power to shake you, to destabilize your core. Think of your values as an internal compass, always pointing true north. When faced with disapproval, simply check your compass. Are you acting in alignment with your values? If the answer is a resounding yes, then you can feel secure, even serene, in your choices, regardless of what anyone else thinks or says. For example, if one of your core values is honesty, and you receive criticism for bravely telling an unpopular truth, you can find a deep sense of peace in knowing you acted with unshakable integrity. The disapproval might still sting, yes, but it won't devastate you. It won't shatter your sense of self. Building a supportive network is another crucial aspect of cultivating inner peace. Surround yourself with people who genuinely uplift you, who see and appreciate you for exactly who you are, flaws and all. This doesn't mean creating an echo chamber where everyone agrees with you, becoming insular. Instead, seek out people who can disagree with you respectfully, who can challenge your ideas in a constructive way, while still profoundly supporting your fundamental worth as a human being. Your supportive network can be your safe harbor, your sanctuary in the stormy seas of disapproval. You can turn to these cherished people when you need reassurance, when you need a reminder of your strengths, when others are focusing only on perceived weaknesses. Let me share a beautiful Eastern philosophical tale about cultivating inner peace. There's a Zen story about a wise old monk who was renowned throughout the land for his profound, unshakable inner calm. One day, a fierce, arrogant warrior came to challenge him, hurling insults and venom, relentlessly trying to provoke the monk into a fight to break his composure. The monk listened calmly, patiently, then softly asked, "If someone offers you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The warrior, completely confused, replied, "The giver, I suppose." The monk smiled gently and said, "Exactly. And it is the same with your insults and your anger. I choose not to accept them. They remain yours." This story beautifully illustrates the immense, often overlooked, power of consciously choosing our reactions. The monk's inner peace wasn't dependent on the warrior's approval or lack thereof. He profoundly recognized that he had complete control over his responses, not over the warrior's actions or words. We can apply this timeless wisdom in our own lives. When faced with dislike or disapproval, we can choose whether or not to invite it into our inner world, whether to allow it to take root and fester. This doesn't mean ignoring valid criticism or never feeling a moment of hurt. It means recognizing that we possess the incredible power to decide how deeply we allow others' opinions to affect us, to truly define us. Cultivating this deep inner peace is a lifelong journey, a continuous practice. It's not about reaching a mythical state where nothing ever bothers you. It's about developing the unwavering ability to return to your center, to your profound inner calm, even when the world around you is chaotic, critical, and loud. This isn't just about managing negativity. It's about unlocking your truest, most authentic self. What if embracing dislike is the fastest, most direct path to becoming the most authentic, the most confident, and the most incredibly resilient version of you imaginable. 9. Your transformed life. The unseen benefits of bravery. Now, let's unveil the incredible, often unseen, long-term benefits of courageously embracing dislike. Because, make no mistake, learning to accept being disliked isn't merely about defense. It's about flinging open the doors to a more authentic, a more confident, and a far more resilient life than you could ever have imagined. First, let's talk about a profound shift: increased authenticity and self-confidence. When that desperate, nagging need for universal approval no longer holds you captive, you are finally, truly free to be your authentic self. You can express your genuine thoughts without fear, pursue your deepest passions without hesitation, and live unapologetically according to your actual values, not the manufactured values others think you should have. This newfound authenticity naturally blossoms into far greater self-confidence. Why? Because you're no longer exhausting yourself trying to be someone you're not. You're not constantly second-guessing every word, every action, wondering if this will make someone dislike you. Instead, you're standing firm, rooted in who you are, unwavering. Think about the people you admire most in the world. Chances are they aren't spineless people-pleasers. They are individuals who stand for something, who possess conviction, and who are unafraid to be disliked for their beliefs or their bold actions. That's the kind of deep, unwavering confidence that develops when you fully, truly embrace the possibility of being disliked. Next, embracing dislike leads to significantly improved decision-making skills. When you're overly concerned with being liked, you might shy away from making necessary but unpopular decisions. You might consistently choose the safe, easy option over the unequivocally right option. But when you gracefully accept that dislike is sometimes an inevitable consequence of doing what's right, you liberate yourself to make decisions based on what you truly believe is best, not what will ruffle the fewest feathers. This leads to far better outcomes in the long run, both in your personal life and in professional settings. For instance, a manager who is comfortable with being disliked can make tough but absolutely necessary decisions to keep a critical project on track, even if it upsets some team members. A parent who is perfectly okay with temporary disapproval from their child can set important boundaries that genuinely benefit that child's long-term well-being and character development. Finally, and perhaps most powerfully, embracing dislike dramatically enhances your resilience in the face of adversity. Every single time you stand firm in the face of disapproval, every time you choose authenticity over popular opinion, you are actively building emotional strength, forging inner steel. You are proving to yourself, deep in your bones, that you can handle discomfort and stay profoundly true to your values, even when it feels incredibly difficult, even when it hurts. This forged resilience will serve you in every single area of your life. It helps you bounce back swiftly from setbacks, to persist relentlessly in the face of daunting challenges, and to maintain your composure and clarity in high-pressure, emotionally charged situations. It's like building an emotional immune system. The more you expose it to varied experiences and choose resilience, the stronger and more robust it becomes. Consider someone who has learned to embrace the dislike that often comes with pursuing a difficult, long-term goal, like starting a risky business venture or painstakingly writing a book. They will inevitably face waves of criticism, skepticism, and disheartening setbacks. But because they are not completely devastated by every negative opinion, they possess the profound capacity to persist where others might simply give up, defeated. They can deftly sift out the useful feedback and, with quiet confidence, let go of the rest, allowing it to pass them by like an indifferent breeze. In essence, embracing dislike doesn't just change how you handle disapproval, it fundamentally changes who you are. It transforms you, step by courageous step, into a more authentic, a more confident, a more decisive, and an undeniably more resilient human being. It empowers you to live life on your own terms, to passionately pursue what truly matters to you without being held back by the debilitating, crushing fear of others' opinions. And here's the beautiful, almost poetic irony. When you are no longer desperately clawing for everyone's approval, you often end up earning something far more valuable: genuine respect. People are instinctively drawn to authenticity, to quiet confidence, to those who stand unwavering in their truth. By embracing the liberating possibility of being disliked, you become the very kind of person others truly admire. Someone who stands for something, who has conviction, and who isn't swayed by every passing opinion or fleeting trend. As we gently wrap up this profound section, I want you to truly imagine the person you could become if you fully, completely embraced this mindset. Imagine the audacious goals you could pursue, the courageous stands you could take, the deeply fulfilling life you could lead if the crippling fear of being disliked no longer held you back, no longer dictated your choices. That's the boundless power we're talking about. That's the life-altering transformation that is waiting for you. And in our final section, we'll talk about how to start making this profound, empowering shift in your own life, starting today. 10. Your superpower awaits. The path forward. We've journeyed together through the challenging, yet incredibly rewarding terrain of acceptance, growth, and inner peace. Now, let's bring it all home, tying these threads into a powerful conclusion. Remember, as the great Roman philosopher Epictetus profoundly stated, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your true, unshakable power lies not in controlling the uncontrollable, others' opinions, but in mastering your own responses, in choosing your reaction with conscious intent. Imagine waking up tomorrow, fully embracing this incredible Stoic superpower. You step out into the world, no longer shackled by the fear of disapproval, no longer a prisoner to others' judgments. You speak your deepest truth, you passionately pursue your callings, and you stand unyielding, gloriously firm in your values. Sure, not everyone will like it. Some will disagree, some will criticize, some might even openly dislike you. But you know what? That's perfectly, beautifully okay. As Theodore Roosevelt so powerfully put it, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena. You, my friend, are choosing to be in the arena. You are choosing to live fully, authentically, and with profound purpose. And that, truly, is the deepest, most liberating form of freedom imaginable. This journey doesn't magically end when this video fades to black, or when this podcast concludes. Oh no. It's a daily practice, a lifelong commitment to relentless growth and self-mastery. There will be challenging days. There will be moments when the sting of disapproval feels almost too much to bear, when old fears try to creep back in. In those difficult moments, remember these timeless anchoring words. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This profound strength, this untapped reservoir of power is within you right now. You simply need to cultivate it, to nourish it, to allow it to blossom. And here's the wonderful news. You don't have to do it alone. So here's my challenge to you. Take just one single thing you've learned today, one insight that resonated deeply, and put it into practice. It could be as simple as setting a small, healthy boundary, or consciously reframing a piece of criticism, or even just pausing to check your inner compass before reacting to disapproval. Whatever it is, commit to it. Do it consciously, intentionally, today. Then, come back here. Share your experience in the comments below. Engage with your fellow travelers on this incredible Stoic path. Your story, your small victory, could be the spark that inspires someone else to take that crucial first step. If you found genuine value in today's conversation, if you're ready to dive even deeper into Stoic wisdom and practical philosophy for modern living, then hit that subscribe button right now. Join the Stoic Marble community. Let's build unshakable resilience together. Let's cultivate profound inner peace together. Let's revolutionize the way we navigate this complex, sometimes harsh, but ultimately beautiful world. Remember, in the profound words of Seneca, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. So let go of the imagined, crushing weight of universal approval. Embrace the liberating, transformative power of accepting that sometimes you might be disliked. And in doing so, step fearlessly into the fullest, most authentic, most powerful version of yourself. This is where true power lies. This is where real life truly, authentically begins. Thank you for joining me today. Stay stoic. Stay strong.